Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Pathfinder, where last time we made our way up into the upper levels of the city. The middle city is where we're at now, and we found the flesh market after we got ambushed by a demon that I can't pronounce. I'm not gonna look for it. But we got ambushed by him. We fended him off. As you can see by our state, the second attempt through it did not go as well. Most people died, everybody but Reggie. Reggie came in clutch. But yeah, everybody's on death's door besides him. And we came down here, we saw Hepzimira and Shamira, I think was her name, talking to this guy, a slave dealer. And after they left, we went and we talked to him, and Suture's over here. We tried to get Suture. He was being annoying about it, so we were going to kill him. But then everybody in the slave market attacked us, and we could not deal with it. And we died. Now we're back, and I think... I don't know what I want to do. I liked my decision, but I don't think we can actually win that fight. I don't think we can do it.
I wonder why.
And maybe we could do it if we did... Did we not have... Where are those spells at? Maybe we could do Death Ward. Does not remove negative levels, but it does the energy drain and any negative energy effects. We could do that. That would help us against the negative level drain that the guards send at us. The main issue is, though, that they still dealt a ton of damage, so I don't know. We're gonna give it one more chance. We have it saved, I think. Well, now we do. And we'll save again before we talk. And we'll use this on everybody. It's 1 minute per level, so we have plenty of time to do it. We'll do this. And see if this helps in this battle. Now, the other aspect of it is that they just dealt a ton of damage to me. Which, I don't know if we're going to be able to avoid that. We've already used up all of our, a lot of our protection stuff. I think you have it, don't you? Don't you have protection from something? You have a lot of things we just never use. I mean, that could be good. That could be really good, actually. We just have so much shit we never use. We do have protection from alignment. We could do this. And
the goddess protects us.
I think that's all we'll have.
You're a good person.
Thank you.
I like you.
I like you too. I think that's what we're gonna go with. Let's give it a shot. Again, I don't have high hopes for this, but we'll give it another chance and see if there's any hope for us to be able to pull it off. So let's go through this. Sell me that dretch. Perhaps gold. I suppose I'll just have to kill you and take the dretch.
Defeat is not an option.
Stop the slaughter. The slaves are running away. Okay. So, first off. So, if the guards aren't going to be able to do the negative level drains against us, they should not be the primary threat for us. So what we're going to do instead, the archers tended to do quite a bit of damage to us, so let's go after the archer. There's really good damage there. And then Sauciel.
Begone, fiend!
Good.
You're in my way.
Good, we've killed one of them. Arushale. We could use this and put it over here. Are there a lot of enemies over there? Oh, yeah. Let's try and do that. I don't know if you'll be able to cast at this level or this turn. We're going to have you go up and attack the guard. That's good damage. Greater Weapon Bane. I don't like that. Alright, so now they're all going to have a chance to go. I wish it was a little bit easier to see where all my enemies were. So there's a ton over there. And there's him. He's probably really strong. And then we got some people over there. Not too bad, though. Okay. Okay. How do we want to approach this? We could try to just kill this guard here. We're gonna give legendary proportions to Grey Boar. I don't know why, but we're gonna try it out. Maybe that'll have a good payout for us. Okay, so far so good. They're not doing anything, they're just moving, which I'm okay with. They tried to hold me down. That's impossible. He can't hold me back. Do you have anything that I don't know about that I could use? Not really. Go with a prayer. That might help out. Okay. Negative level, immune to it. Good. Did some damage to Demon Bane. Ow. Alright, Grey Boar. Study this guy and take him down. Beautifully done. Now, one thing I realized while I was going through this again is we didn't exhaust all his conversations. All of his conversation, which is not great, right? Might have missed out on some things. Alright, attack the guard. Good damage against him. Alright, Barad, you're gonna do this. And I did remember to bring this in, so we're gonna summon these guys behind him. And you're also going to smite this guy. Ooh, that was some damage there. Alright, there's a guard. That's bad. She survived. Good. Barrett's down. And the Hand of the Inheritor did not come to help us this time. That's bad. Very bad. Okay. Well, in that case, what we need to do here is we need to do a lot of damage against the guard. That was a lot of damage against him. Good. Alright, here they come. They missed that. That's good. That's bad. Alright, Sauciel. Attack this guy. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to do this. We are doing better, but look at that damage. That's insane. And Baird's dead. Okay, so maybe if we were healed up completely and we had the Hand and Inheritor's help, maybe we'd be able to do that. We could try to go back and rest at the Nexus. We could always come back and kill him, right? Like there's no reason why we couldn't come back after we get what we want. And I suppose if we're trying to be very devil-like in our evilness, we would be very calculating in when we strike. And this just isn't a good time to strike. It just isn't a good time to strike. We're just not prepared. I probably could have a better party composition for this fight. So I think we're going to avoid doing that at the moment. So let's just have a normal conversation with them. Let's go through the other options before we go to Suture. Why did Hepzimira and Shamira buy your slaves? Lady Hepzimira is extremely secretive. No one knows what she's up to, and no one wants to ask unnecessary questions because Lady Hepzimira has already proven she's quite powerful. Snooping around her business could be dangerous. When Lady Shamira brings Lady Hepzimira with her and says she needs stupid but strong slaves, Master Sars never asks questions and does not hold a grudge For the meatball nickname, Master Sars is a very wise and shows restraint. One of the demon guards clearly grows interested in the conversation and unconsciously leans forward. Sars whips him across the muzzle with a lightning-fast blow. The demon's head explodes like a watermelon dropped from a great height. Was that one of the guards that attacks us? Well then. I'd like to see your slaves. Who are you, demon? The demon answers with a lengthy, barking tirade as the interpreter listens carefully to every grunt. Master Sars comes from a remote corner of the abyss extremely far from these parts. Practically no one in all Elutionera has ever heard of the magnificent place that is Master Sars' homeland. He would happily return there because that place is superior to all other realms of the abyss. However, Master Sars found himself fascinated with the concept of slavery. In his homeland, the idea of owning other sentient beings does not exist. The common practice there is to kill anyone who is not like you. Master Sars has spent a lot of time studying the sophisticated art of slaveholding, and has become the most respected slave trader in the whole of Elutionera. Not everyone approves of slavery on Galarian, but I respect your customs. Slavery is disgusting. Tell Master Sars that it's wrong to treat living beings like this. This seems right. The weak must serve the strong. This seems like a... Yeah, we'll go with the lawful one. Listening contently to the pleased hoots of his master, the tiefling adds a trifle of approval to his monotonous speech. Master Sars is pleasantly surprised. Many of your world's inhabitants hold a strange prejudice against slavery. Master Sars wishes you the favor of the demon lord you serve. I appreciate your kind words. Your wisdom is truly impressive. With a harsh roar, Sars uses his whip to knock the chain from the tiefling's neck, a chain attached to the golden plate covered in demonic inscriptions. Deprived of his accessory, the slave quietly kneels, ignoring the bleeding wound on his neck. He finds the golden plate on the ground and hands it to you. Master Sars would like to grant you this valuable gift as a sign of his personal regard, for he has found you to be both intelligent and discerning. Only the most esteemed guests receive such tokens from Master Sars. Let this gift show your high status to all around you. Sorrow and anger fill me as I behold this piece of metal. The blood of unfortunates has not yet dried upon it. Cool. I'd like to know more about the flesh markets. Master Sars finds your curiosity commendable. He is willing to outline the basic principles of the flesh markets, and the tiefling falls silent for a while, listening carefully to the demon's croaking, then he finds the correct word. Its hierarchy. He is also willing to explain the intricacies of the highly respected occupation of slaver. It would take a lot of effort to find a place more disgusting than this one, even here in the abyss. In the old days, my warriors and I broke many slave collars and led countless slaves out of the abyss. What is this place? This place is called the Flesh Markets because here one can buy living and healthy flesh. Slaves for housekeeping, slaves for carnal pleasure, fighting slaves, sacrificial slaves, slaves of an edible nature. Every day, hundreds of slaves are shipped here, and hundreds of customers come to buy them. Where do you get your slaves? The majority of the slaves are captives seized during raids of other planes. Master Sars is happy to inform you that Galarian is one of our main supply channels. The Abyss itself supplies a fair share of slaves as well. Demons have no prejudice against enslaving their kin. Demonic slaves are more hard-wearing and last longer than slaves from most other planes. Who runs the flesh markets? Master Sars has the honor of being the informal head of the flesh markets because he is the main supplier to the upper city. All the individuals who dared to challenge Master Sars' primacy renounced their false claims, became his slaves, and now proudly wear his personal insignia carved into the faces with cold iron. With a demanding crack of the whip, Sars calls one of the demons standing nearby. The latter kneels hastily, obediently hides his eyes, and extends his hand palm up. Sars seems satisfied with the display of obedience, so he lets the demon go by whipping him lightly over the shoulder and leaving a ruby red welt on his skin. As you may have noticed, Master Sars' authority here in the flesh market is absolute. I see. The slave interprets his master's abrupt snort without words, giving you a short bow. Are you his slave? The demon bursts into indignant gurgling. Even without understanding a single word, you quickly conclude that he is displeased. Master Sars wishes you to cease your attempt to bypass him and communicate directly with his property. The provenance of his property is a matter of concern to Master Sars alone, no one else. I'm looking for slaves for the gladiator fights in the arena. Master Sars regrets that he must refuse you. He supplies gladiators exclusively to the Nahindrian League, maintaining the high quality of its fighters. Master Sars suggests you speak with other vendors whose goods are not exclusive, but far more affordable. Okay, I'd like to see your slaves. The tiefling's voice is emotionless and fails to convey the arrogant notes you hear in the demon's snortings. I'm afraid Master Sars must reject your offer. All his slaves were caught to satisfy personal requests by the most esteemed upper city residents. Master Sars is the most influential of the slavers, and he can't afford to waste his time on something as pointless as negotiating with a stranger. Sell me that dretch. Sars begins to snort. Yep, he doesn't like it. Perhaps gold can compensate. Uh-huh. Your price is too high. Master Sars is disappointed. He thought this was a business discussion, not a waste of his time. The suture sighs gloomily and throws a pleading glance at you. Don't leave me here, Baron. Ah, goodness. Let's leave all grievances and misunderstandings behind. The tiefling translates Sars' satisfied snort, though it is wholly unnecessary. You understand its meaning perfectly well. Master Sars congratulates you on a successful purchase. The dretch approaches you, glancing cautiously around. He mumbles in a quiet voice so that only you can hear his words. I have no idea why Hepzimira needed slaves, but from what I've heard, they don't live long. Becoming her property is a death sentence, no doubt about it. Meaning you saved me, so I guess The suture appears confused. It seems this miscreation is not accustomed to being shown mercy and simply doesn't know how to express his thanks. How were you captured? I've been wandering the lower city, searching for something. Never you mind that. I mean, that's not what I meant to say. It's a personal matter. Yeah, that's the right way to put it. So I was roaming around, chatting with all and sundry, when the slave hunters appeared and started chasing us. They threw those who survived in a cage and brought us here. This is a typical occurrence in the Abyss. Social dynamics, it's called. The strong enslave the weak. What will you do now? With a gloomy glance at you, the suture gives you a vague answer. I'll continue my search, I will. It won't be easy, but I'll prove to her that I'm smarter and wilier than she thinks. The dretch's expression is determined, even severe. What are you looking for? The dretch throws a suspicious glance at you. Don't ask. That's none of your business. Farewell. The suture hesitates, nervously scratching the back of his neck. He repeatedly opens his mouth to say something, but nothing comes out. Finally, he starts to mumble incoherently. You... Just be careful. That's what I'm saying. With a martyr's sigh, the suture turns around, relieved to lose himself once again in Lushanira's war in alleyways. I'm going to say that's for payment for when he saved my life back at the beginning of the game. Or, I guess he didn't really save my life because the crossbow he gave us didn't actually kill anybody. We'll take that. So that was one of the guards, I think. Okay. And for, his help in the laboratory. We'll take that book too.
Godspeed.
Alright, Adventure Captain Kristoff. Is this a Pathfinder? A lean old man with his back as stiff as a pikestaff casts a piercing look at you. His gray hair and luxurious sideburns grant him an imposing and significant demeanor. Greetings. I am Count Kristoff Rolano. I have the honor of serving as Venture Captain of the Pathfinder Society, heading the branch of the Society of Lushanira and its adjacent territories. If you need the services of the Pathfinders, I can be of assistance. Tell me about yourself. I am a noble, a good Asmodean, and a Pathfinder, who earned the honor of being sent with the most unwanted task to the most repulsive point in the world, and ready to provide you with a few good fighters What else are you interested in? Who are you? The old man lifts his chin and carefully strokes his amazing sideburns. Kristoff, Rolano, of Long March, a hereditary count of Cheliax and venture captain of the Pathfinder Society, at your service. The Pathfinder Society has long planned to open a branch in the Abyss. For obvious reasons, such an appointment didn't make anyone especially happy. However, as people of honor, we Pathfinders of my lodge couldn't let squeamishness stand in the way of duty. All of us volunteered for this mission, and the Decemvirate chose me as the most suitable candidate. Why were you sent to the Abyss? The venture captain shrugs. To buy slaves, of course. Or rather, redeem slaves. The Pathfinder Society sent me to provide help to dwellers of Galarian who have been enslaved by demons. Every day, I go to the slave market with a bag of gold, and I return to our shelter with a crowd of poor folks, whose freedom I manage to buy. Unfortunately, there are always too many slaves and too little gold. We send the ones we saved to Galarian. Some of them are opportunists and fighters who were unlucky enough to be imprisoned. They are grateful to the society and are ready to provide services to repay us for their rescue. When people who are looking for mercenaries contact me, my charges go to serve them, and the payment for their services fill our coffers for continued redemption of slaves. Ransoming slaves is stupid. Just make the demons stronger with your gold. You just make the demons stronger with your gold. What you do is merciful. I think we're just going to go with the neutral option. I see. I mean, it is merciful what he's doing. But it's also true that you are strengthening them, right, with the gold. And encouraging them to capture more slaves, right? So, I don't know. What's it like living in the Abyss? Kristoff scans the landscape slowly, with dignity, and then says demurely, abominable. The Abyss is a savage place, where everything that can be designed in a wrong way is. Everything is clear. Can I provide some funds? The society has fixed charity rates, preventing corruption. I personally find this practice very wise. The donation for the prisoners of the Abyss is 50,000 gold coins. The price is high, but it will give freedom to the unfortunate. But if it will give freedom to the unfortunate, so be it. Base profit is worth more than a life. That amount is unacceptable. That is rather unfortunate. Our mission could use help. Maybe if I make more money. Have a good day, Commander. Because we just spent 30,000 gold for suture, which is a lot of money for suture. Alright. Galu Warmonger in whirling black mask. Hi. You need to keep a constant eye on the slaves, else they will flee. Whirlong Black Mask. A stern-looking demon stands before you, bristling with what seems an arsenal of weapons, and his copious scars suggest he's been hacked to pieces more than once. His face is hidden under a grotesque obsidian mask attached to his flesh by thin straps ending in hooks. The hooks are threaded into the skin, and the wounds bleed profusely, as if inflicted merely moments ago. The mask resembles a sinister black mollusk, enveloping the face of its victim. When he speaks, the slaver's voice is muffled. Greetings, stranger. I am Warlong, legend of the Battle Bliss. Are you looking to buy some battle slaves, or do you need weapons for yourselves and your servants? Yeah, weapons. The young cleric resolutely stares into the slaver's eyes. My brother Trevor was abducted by a demon in a black mask. Was that you? Oh! Oh. Warlong sniffs the air. Well, well. That face, that scent. Yes, I remember him. He was a strong fighter, a dangerous one. I made good money when I sold him. Oh shit. I wonder if he's the champion. Probably not, right? I think the champion's a demon. But wow. Where is he now? To whom did you sell him? Answer me, you monster. Don't be so rude, young mortal. Unless you want to meet your death sooner than you expected. I have only one buyer, the Battle Bliss. Do you want to know what became of him? Find out at the arena. Oh shit. In the arena, Sasio looks at you stricken. So these beasts made him... Oh, Shellen. What cruel mockery. But he is still alive, and that is all that matters. We can't waste time. We must get him out of there before it's too late. So Show me the weapons you're selling. Who are you? I'm Warlong Black Mask. I was the champion of the arena, and I fought and killed in the name of my mistress, Shamira. I worshipped her. I was her slave and her bodyguard. She was flattered by the many killings dedicated to her honor, and by the shouts of the crowd chanting her name. But then I had a dark revelation. I realized Shamira was not worthy of my worship. She owned me. But my true mistress was the one that entered the arena with me. Her hand in mine. Death. So I dedicated my next victim to her instead of Shamira. My mistress was enraged. She arranged a fight in the arena when I had no hope of winning. I was hacked and cut, torn apart, choked, ground to dust by magic, and impaled on spears. But still I did not die. My remains were stitched back together piece by piece. Death was with me that day, and I returned even more powerful. But the fights lost their appeal after that. An immortal gains no glory fighting mortals. So I left the arena, and I no longer kill by my own hand. Now I offer my gifts to death by the hands of the gladiators I train. I take their names and their dreams, and in return I give them weapons and the dark revelation of death. Interesting. So I probably can't kill him then, right? What is this mask you wear? What you wear? The first champion fought wearing this mask. The final champion will fight wearing it on the day this world ceases to exist. In this mask, I was invincible, and I conquered the battle bliss and made all Illusionera bow before me. I thought to pass it on to Gelderfang, my apprentice, but despite his many talents and the art of killing, he loved his life far too much. He was afraid of death, too frightened to fight me and take the mask. He is not a true gladiator, not a real champion, but no one, aside from the true children of the arena, is capable of understanding this. I wonder if we'll be able to challenge him if we become champion. Show me the weapons you're selling. My gladiators come from a range of planes and are accustomed to fighting in different styles, so have quite a wide selection. I am positive you will find something that fits your hand, no matter how many hands nature gave you. The slaver chuckles, pleased with his own joke. The items I have here are the best examples of Nahendrian weapons and armor. Why do you keep calling them Nahendrian? Rumors have been going around about some magical Nahendrian crystals that grant immense power to their owners. No one knows for certain where they come from, or what they really are, but everyone desires them. Illusionera has become obsessed with all things Nahendrian. That's why everyone in Illusionera calls top quality goods Nahendrian now. Show me what you got. Alright, sell all this stuff. We probably have other things, right? Yeah. Don't need any of those. Don't need any of those. We need all the money we can get. Holy longsword. Don't need it. Keep all these just in case. There you go. And get that. And those and those. Oops. You don't get that. And then here you can have all these and all these. And probably all these too. There you go, that's a good amount of money. Oh, you can have these too. You can have that. And I think that's all I want to give you. There you go. There's the deal. What do you have? Impending Demise, Slicing Staff, Decay Spreader, Exterminator, a Great Sword. This +3 Living Bane Greatsword grants its wielder a +5 bonus on saving throws against Necromancy School spells, but reduces their maximum HP by 20 while equipped. It's kind of cool. What is this thing? Oh, it's nunchucks. An Impaler, Short Spear, a Rapier. Oh, rest in peace, Camellia. Never forget. A Short Sword, Longbow of Leeching Strikes. Confirms critical hit. The enemy suffers 1d6 direct damage for every 5 feet that enemy travels for 2 rounds. Okay. Javelins. Holy Devotee's Wrath. 2-bladed sword. Dwarven War Axe. Mighty Advisor. This +4 Dragonbane Dwarven War Axe doubles any insight bonus to attack and damage the wielder might have. That could be kind of cool. What do you have right now? Crushing Cold, which is just a hand axe. It's a +3. Although the war axe is kind of bad. This +1 dwarven war axe deals an additional 1d3 acid per hit. I mean, it's only a +1 axe, right? I wonder if that would be better than the hand axe, though, because we have proficiency in the dwarven war axe, right? I don't know if we're able to fight a dragon again. So I don't know if Dragon Bane would be very useful. But still, the insight bonus on attack and damage being doubled could be good. I don't know how many insight bonuses to attack and damage we have. But it could always be good if we ever get one, right? We're gonna get it. Let's buy it. We'll buy that, and I think we are gonna sell Crushing Cold. I don't know. It is good, but let's buy it, and then let's take a look. You're actually missing quite a bit of stuff. You don't have any gloves or boots. Do you have anything? I don't think we have anything for you, do we? What is this? Charisma ability. That's actually kind of bad for you. Do you have anything better? I actually don't know. Do you need any of these stats? I don't know. Anyway, we do have this for you now. Hold on. So let me take a look here. So +24 to attack, +19, +14, 25, 20, 15. So this is better. This is better. Okay, so we'll just be placing the war axe. Mordant war axe. Look at that. That thing looks awesome. But yeah, that should be kind of a big bonus for him, I imagine. Cool. I want to see it again, and we're gonna sell the Mordant war axe. There you go. Okay. I'm looking for slave. Well, show me the ones you're selling. Can I actually buy slaves? I'm selling death itself. Death lurks in my gladiators' hands and in their eyes. They can kill so swiftly, you will not even see them strike. They can kill so slowly, their opponent's death makes the spectators shiver in ecstasy. And they embrace their own death with such dignity that their names soar from the lips of the crowd into the dark sky, straight into the hands of merciful death. The gladiators, a mix of all races and ages, do indeed look tough and dangerous. Their powerful bodies and bloodthirsty gazes and deft yet casual grips on their weapons show them to be true masters of their art. They resemble a pack of predators, at rest before a bloody hunt, where they will rip, tear, and gut their prey. The glances they exchange are amiable, but not warm. For tomorrow, each may have to kill the other in front of the screaming crowd. Their glory is to be gained by fighting in the arena, you say? There certainly is. The gladiator fights are the most popular entertainment here in the Lucianera. There's no better way to acquire fame and glory than to step into the battle bliss and take another's life. If your slaves are that good in a fight, why don't they rebel and free themselves? The arena is their home. The other gladiators, their family. And the fight's their sole purpose in life. Fighting is their only path to glory and a carefree life of luxury. But to win in the arena, you need a distinguished and influential master who will provide you with an experienced trainer, good weapons, decent food, and skillful lovers to salve your wounds. But would such a distinguished and influential demon take on any no-name wannabes? Of course not. That's why, when a demon wishes to purchase a gladiator for the arena, they come to me, and the best fighters pay enormous sums to become my slaves and trainees. I'm their only hope of making it to the top. Greybor, who has been studying the gladiators closely all this time, nods grimly to himself. I've seen a lot of warriors in my life, and I have to say these are not fighters. They're pompous roosters, strutting about the place. They are similar to pleasure slaves, but instead of graceful dancers with veils, they dance with blades. It may look impressive, but there's no more warrior spirit in them than there is true love in a harlot's embrace. I'm looking for slaves for the gladiator fights in the arena. I'm selling death itself. Death lurks in the gladiator... Oh no, I thought I read this already. Death lurks in my gladiators' hands and in their eyes. They can kill so swiftly, you will not even see them strike. They can kill so slowly, their opponent's death makes the spectators I have read this before, okay. Okay, so I'll buy your gladiators. Smiling at the gladiators, billowing battle cry. Actually, 35,000 gold. The slaver examines you with a sharp look. The straps of the mask tighten slightly, making the skin wrinkle. Finally, he nods. You look genuine. You are a killer. I suppose I can sell you my gladiators. 35,000 gold coins. For the 35,000 enemies they'll kill in your honor in the arena. That's a lot of enemies. Do I want to shop around? No deal. It's a great and unholy gift to have gladiators die with your name on their lips. As death takes them away, she will hear your name. When your time comes, she'll remember you and send you a death far more painful. It is a great honor. Do not refuse it. I wish you glorious battles. It seems the mask's expression has changed slightly, the grin becoming more malevolent, more scheming. I wish you glorious battles, many fallen enemies, and a hard and painful death that will be etched in the hearts of generations to come. Okay. Now we had some stuff over here. Can we loot it? I don't know. Ooh. Hide a magical creature. We're gonna take it anyway. We have a portal there. We don't have the key for it though. Alright. I want to shop around a little bit. We might buy his slaves, but let's see if there's a better deal. Ramissa the Slave Trader. The eyes of the translucent Demerylith carefully observe her surroundings. It seems this is not merely an image, but a projection of the creature's consciousness, while her physical body is located somewhere far from here. Next to the Demerylith fidgets a shriveled mandrake, which utters the occasional displeased squeak. Ah, a visitor from another plane. I am Ramissa, also known as Slothskin, and I am no simple vendor, but a true artist of the slave trade. My warehouse currently stands empty, but we can arrange for a custom order. What would you like to acquire? Perhaps your enemy's son or daughter? Your enemy's son or daughter, bound by magic and powerless in the face of anything you might wish to do to them? An attractive person who once dared reject you? The little brat who bullied you as a child? Illusionera is the city where all your dreams come true. The Merla licks her lips, especially if they are dirty, bloody, and sweet dreams of possession and revenge. What do you mean by artist of the slave trade? While others trade for material gain, I do it for art. Unlike others, I am not involved in the faceless shipment of goods. Each slave who passes through my hands has a personality. Each sale is a spiritual experience. Not long ago, I sent my hunters to track down and capture a brave rebel fighting for the freedom of his people, and then I sold him, chained and dressed as a pleasure slave, to the tyrant who had enslaved his homeland. Some may call it a cliché, but I call it classic. So what I see standing here is just your projection? Certainly. It is not safe to appear in the flesh markets in person, especially for someone like me. You see, before I switched to this line of work, I was a humble gardener. I used to grow mandrakes. The Merilith pats her ugly pet on the head. It is well known fact that mandrakes grow if you water an ordinary weed with demon blood, or if you plant it in a demon's corpse. The allies, lovers, and masters of those I turned into fertilizer are still searching for me. Thus I conduct my business remotely. In the same way, when I have slaves to sell, I first show their projections, and only after they're sold do I deliver them to the buyer. I need gladiator slaves. That's not my area. I grow tired of the battle bliss. I used to work with them, and rather often at that. I'd arrange for siblings, lovers, and a parent and child to battle in the arena. My best scenarios in this vein have already been staged to great acclaim, and I've yet to devise new ones. Come and ask me again in 50 years or so. I'm leaving. Okay. Any other slave traders? Or are those the three? Don't mind. Ooh. Jaws of the Jackal. Oh, wow. That's a big chunk of text. A pair of gauntlets made of very dark metal and badly rusted. In a hidden compartment, there is a tiny diary. According to it, these gauntlets belonged to Victor Svalt, a human who grew up in Carrion Hill, Ustalav, and was directed by his parents to go to higher education to become a wizard. During his classes outside of his school, the class was ambushed by wild animals. In a panic, Victor fled from the class and away from the city, deeper into the woods. He traveled for a great deal of time, having no supplies to sustain himself. Eventually, he collapsed in the graveyard of a city in Ustalav, laying upon the loamy soil and finding it difficult to move forward. Feeling like he could make it with just a bit more energy, he decided to push on, consuming some of that awful, wretched ground and forcing his body to continue. He was then taken in by a cleric of Pharasma and began to reside and learn the arts of a cleric under his guidance. He did not feel like eating the first few nights after his arrival, even though he felt his body screaming out for nourishment, which was concerning to him. Even so, as he went to draw water from the well near the temple one night, he saw 4 hooded figures standing over the well. One cradled a dark iron gauntlet in its hands, and upon approaching the well, offered it to the human. He took the gauntlets and immediately was struck and doubled over by pangs of intense hunger. Retching and heaving ensued. But when he finally recovered and stood up, the figures were gone. Later, Victor came into contact with an Abracandulu, who shattered his gauntlet with its ability, causing Victor to fly into a rage of zeal. He used the broken shards of the item to dig into his own flesh, carving an unholy symbol of Trelmerixian on his hand, to serve as a catalyst for his magic until he could repent for allowing it to break. In time, after Dresden was retaken, the gauntlet was reforged at the very forge Staunton used, and he was beginning to dabble not only in the dark summoning of demons, but also the vicious power of black fire. He had focused on summoning dangerous creatures and snatching souls, and the gauntlets understood this. Interesting. These gauntlets grant a profane vigor effect and +2 bonus to natural armor to all evil creatures summoned by the wearer of these gauntlets. If the wearer summons a Thanademon, they granted a greater profane vigor effect and a +4 natural bonus armor to AC. If the wearer summons any good outsider creature, it will attack the wearer. Profane vigor. A summoned creature gains a +2 profane bonus on attack roll saves and skill checks. A summoned creature grants a +4 profane bonus on attack rolls, saves, and skill checks, immunity to fear effects, and a number of temporary hit points equal to your caster level. Interesting. I mean, we'll take them. I don't think we'll use them, but it's an interesting pair of gauntlets. It'd be cool to be an evil summoner, like a necromancer or something. Bet those would be kind of good on them. Maybe. Alright, Krebis. The tall, thin vendor is swathed in a loose black cloak. He is not a demon, but it is impossible to determine his race. His expression and hairless face is covered in tattoos and looks as if it is made of wax. His eyes are motionless. As you approach, the black figure almost doubles over as he sweeps into a low bow. The vendor moves with a supernatural delicacy and grace impossible for a human. He extends his arms, also covered in tattoos, toward you. The ink on his palms comes to life and forms the words, "Greetings, I am Krebis, a vendor of magical lunatics." What an interesting character. The voice of the hand sounds contemplative. I can sense shadows, evil shadows that once served their old master, Viriavaxis, who I fought valiantly, but had not the strength to defeat. Beware this one, champion, for he is linked to powers both formidable and cunning. Something inside you awakens and casts a fiery glance at the slaver. You can see the darkness curling under the thin layer of his skin, or rather a shadow resembling darkness, a demon woven in shadows. What kind of slaves can you offer? With a slight nod, Krebis points at a group of slaves standing nearby. All of them are completely motionless, their backs unnaturally straight. They seem to be drugged. Their eyes are entirely black, without a hint of pupil. And in the depths, tiny blue sparks flicker like stars in the night sky. From time to time, some of the slaves utter something uncanny or barely comprehensible, then fall silent again. Tiny ink glyphs begin to appear rapidly on the slaver's palm, as if drawn by a skillful scribe. My lunatics. Magical ingredients for ritual sacrifice. Dissolved in blood, fermentation finished, distillation finished, deposited into practical self-propelled storage units inside the slaves' bodies. High magic potential. The goods were examined and certified by esteemed Willidus, approved for trading. I can sense darkness inside them. Not mundane darkness, which is merely the absence of light, but an embodied darkness that begets evil and possesses awareness instead of being emptiness and nothing. What cursed substances did he pump into these unfortunates? Keep an eye on them, for the darkness inside them waits for the right moment to be born into this world. What you have done to these slaves and why? What have you done to these slaves and why? Snakes made of letters crawl over Canabras' hands. They are no longer slaves, they are vessels of magic. Their bodily fluids were drained and replaced by potions and decoctions imbued with energies. Their dried mummies were filled with the dampness of magic, and their dehydrated brains were filled with the mysteries of the universe. Top quality, in a Hindrian, as they say here in Elushinira. Who are you, and where do you come from? 3 words appear on the vendor's palms. Crevice from everywhere. The secretive stranger smiles lifelessly and shrugs. His soft, flowing movements are so smooth as to be almost indiscernible, as if he were not a creature of flesh, but rather of melting wax. The slaver opens his mouth wide, and you see neither teeth nor tongue inside. The ink on his palm forms the words, "I can communicate." I'm looking for slaves for the gladiator fights in the arena. The vendor shakes his head. Words appear over his skin. Magic, art, craft, not slaughter. Show me your magic wares. The slaver gives you another low bow. One of his eyes suddenly rolls out of its eye sockets with a neat, gentle movement. Krevis touches the eyeball and returns it to its normal place, and then he points to his wares. Phantasmal Guide, a quarterstaff. This +5 Ghost Touch quarterstaff allows its wearer to cast illusion school spells as if they were 3 levels higher. Oh, wow. As if they were 3 levels higher. Like all my illusion spells are 3 levels higher? That would be insane for Ninio, wouldn't it? 92,000. I don't have the money for it. Boots of Arcane Persistence. Whenever the wearer of these boots casts the same spell for the 4th time during the day, their next spell becomes quickened, as though using the quickened spell. Wow, that's kind of neat. Ring of Imminent Demise. Whenever the wearer of this ring makes an attack of opportunity, the enemy must pass a Fortitude saving throw, DC 26, or be knocked down. The ring also grants a +2 competence bonus on attack and damage rolls with 2-handed weapons. So that's good for Sela. Robe of Malice. This robe grants the wearer a +3 dodge bonus to AC and a +5 bonus to unarmed attacks and damage rolls. It can be worn only by a monk of lawful evil alignment. Is that the same robe? I know there was a robe that could be worn by lawful evil monks in Kingmaker. Is this the same robe? That'd be interesting if it was. And then he has some scrolls. Anything else? He has 60 quarterstaffs. Unholy Shepherd. While wielding this ring with a sign of Baphomet, you can summon 2 CR-14 half-fiendish minotaurs 3 times per day, and they will fight on your side for 10 minutes. However, if you die while wearing this ring, they are summoned too, but now as enemies. Oh, wow. That's interesting. Nothing in there I want. These are all scrolls, right? I saw something. What was that? We have wands. I actually want to buy some wands. Are there any good ones? I'm sure there are. But wands are very good. I don't use them enough, I feel like. Gold coin of the flesh markets. So this will allow us to teleport around, right? We'll buy it. Do we want to buy it? Actually, let's hold off on buying it. We might not need to buy it. Let's look at the wands here. Volcanic Storm. See if there's anything really good. Put serious wounds. Needs that for touch. Elemental Body, Dragon Breath. Wand of Displacement, Curse of Idiocy. Cure wands. Contagion. Curse of Touch. Create Pit. Nothing that really stands out to me. I think we'll save our money. Actually, do we want to buy that staff? problem is we need money. We could sell some of these things that we're not going to use. So like this. Let me is this better than what the Soul Shear? 413 plus 3. It does hit harder. Let's take a look at these. So it's an Adamantine Glaive, grants you +2 additional daily uses of Lay on Hands, Fervor, and Channel Energy class abilities you possess them. Applies after rest. While the Banshee's Heart +3 Thundering Glaive confirms a critical hit. All creatures in a 15-foot radius must pass a Fortitude saving throw, suffer 2d8 +4 sonic damage and become prone from a round. Does deal an extra 1d6 sonic damage. Huh. I don't know. Which one would we rather have? An extra 2 Lay on Hands and Channel Energies? I mean, that is good having that. Okay, we won't sell it. We'll keep it. Maybe we'll need more damage from him at some point. What else can we sell, though? Flail of Hunger. That's relic creation. We could get rid of this because he's using Finian now. Hold on to that. I guess we don't need a Falcata, even though it's a really cool weapon. So we could sell that. We don't have anybody using scimitars, so we could sell this too. And I don't have anybody using battle axes, so we can sell that too. And I don't think we need these, so we could probably sell these too. We'll hold on to it for now, though. How much should we buy that for? What a waste of money that was, huh? Both of our archers have better things for that, so we can get rid of that. That's for Ninio. We have a lot of things for Ninio. And we are going to buy this for Ninio. Deal. Alright, cool.
I will see this through.
Alright, anything down this way? So we actually can go down here if we wanted to. Oh! Knowledge Arcana? Do you have anybody good at Knowledge Arcana?
I will.
No. The islands and rocks floating in the air are clearly flying as a result of someone's crazy magic. Clearly. Alright, we still need to find slaves, so... What do we got here? So we still only have one person who's going to sell us slaves, right? What about you, Raggy? The Cambion, who gives you a smarmy bow, looks like he once tried to split in two, then changing his mind. Tried to split in two, then changing his mind. His chest is twice as wide as it should be, and double pupils stare at you from each of his eyes. Every time this freakish creature opens his mouth, an impressive goiter swells on his neck. His voice has an unpleasant croaking quality, as if a giant toad had taken up residence in his throat. What a delightful person. Would you like to buy some fresh flesh? You can call me Raggy. I'm at your service. Who are you, and what are you selling? Everybody calls me Raggy, and the name's just fine by me. I'm the top vendor here at the flesh market, no matter what the others think. They sell expensive classic goods, whereas I specialize in rabble and riffraff. My goods cost 10 times less than what the others are selling, but I have 100 times more clients than everyone else. Everybody needs a slave. Cheap, maybe slightly defective, but still a slave. Big shots from the upper city prefer to do business with the others. But so what? The middle city feeds me much better. Raggy raises his voice for the last part. You notice that the demons standing nearby cast cautious glances at the insolent, grinning Cambion. It seems this shabby specimen has some authority here after all. Besides, I don't just sell live goods. I sell the stuff that used to belong to those poor fools as well. You'll find some extremely valuable and interesting items among the loot taken during slave raids. With a casual nod toward Ember, the demon grimaces with disgust. Incidentally, I'm willing to take this crippled waif off your hands. If you expect to sell her yourself, don't bother. No one will want to buy such a puny thing. But I can add her to my lot of Galarian slaves. You're mistaken. I am not for sale. Ember smiles cheerfully. Greyboar's voice holds his usual politeness, but his eyes flare with ice-cold anger. Demon, if I hear another word from you about this girl, tomorrow you will be selling your own brains by the ounce. Casting an assessing glance at the dwarf, the demon stretches his lips in an unnaturally wide smile. Your bodyguard has quite the temper. He might wish to tame his tongue, or next time he'll mouth off to someone less restrained, and you'll be the one to pay for the mistake. Show me the spoils. I'm looking for slaves for the gladiator fights. With an odd hacking sound, the Cambion coughs a lump of phlegm into his hand and examines the mucus closely for some time. At last, seemingly satisfied, he carelessly wipes his palm on his clothes. These slaves for the arena? Just this Galarian scum. They won't win a single bout, of course, but their blood will grease the blades of the real fighters, and the crowd will have some fun. How does that sound? Show me what you've looted. Alright, let's take a look at weapons first. Battle axe, club, heavy crossbow, and a gnome hammer, but not anything we want. Heavy crossbow. Rude stopper. Whenever the wielder of this +5 heavy crossbow ends a hit, the enemy must pass a will saving throw, or become unable to cast spells or attack for 1 round. Affected enemy is immune to this effect for 3 rounds. That's really cool. Really good, too. It's a strong will save they have to make. Blackened rags. This robe grants its wearer a +10 competence bonus on knowledge arcana checks. It also decreases the DC of spells from witch spell lists and hexes by 1. What is she currently wearing? Silver robe. That sounds perfect. This is a robe, right? Yes. Okay. We'll buy that. Got the Amulet of Quick Draw. This amulet grants its wearer a +2 insight bonus on attack and damage rolls with ranged weapons against larger or bigger enemies. It also grants a +4 against large or bigger enemies. Okay, it also grants a +4 bonus on initiative rolls. That's not bad. Amulet of Mighty Fist, Call of Violence. This cloak of resistance +4 also grants its wearer a 30-foot aura, which grants all enraged allies in the area a +2 bonus on attack and damage rolls. That's kind of cool too if I had barbarians. I do not. We could buy one of those. We can buy lockpicks. We'll stick with what we have. Sell that. What is this? You can have that. There we go. Get some more money back. Ember. We have a new robe for you. Oh, she looks awesome, man. That looks so cool. Show me your spoils. And you can have the silver robe. There you go. Alright, show me your slaves. I can offer you a shipment of Galarian slaves. They certainly aren't in the best shape. Galarians are notorious for their fragility, but torturing them is sure fun. As Reggie grins, you spot at least 2 rows of needle-sharp teeth in his mouth. The Galarian slaves are clad in torn rags, their bodies emaciated. Many have wounds and cuts. Their blank indifference to everything happening around them suggests that these unfortunate lost any hope of escape long ago. Urushile's presence causes a rumble of discontent among the slaves. She flinches under their angry and hateful gazes. She opens her mouth to say something, but fails to find the right words, and just sadly lowers her eyes. Winged bitch, what are you looking at? Saciel addresses the slave in a soft but resolute manner. Brother, you should not insult her. She has repented and now fights for a righteous cause. She is a good friend and a worthy crusader. I swear to you in Shellen's name. The cleric's words are followed by embarrassed and confused grumbles among the slaves. The succubus's eyes turn to Saciel. They are full of relief and sincere gratitude. A shy smile appears on her lips. Seizing the moment and deftly spitting at the mephit in the cage, Raggy nods at him. If you wish, you can also purchase this little blighter. He won't be of much use, but you can entertain yourself for some time torturing him. He is sharp-tongued and quite resilient. I guarantee you'll spend several interesting and pleasant evenings killing this little freak. Chuckling, Raggy watches as the mephit wipes the spit from his face and mutters curses under his breath. The mephit's voice is angry but tinged with respect. I'll buy the Galarian slaves. The double pupils flicker with greed. After feigning indecision, Raggy finally states, 15,000 gold coins. I won't accept any less. I can't get 15,000 selling those wretches. I can get 15,000 selling those wretches as meat. Accept. Raggy looks at one of the slaves, who can barely stand. With a subtle motion, he throws a spell that slits the unfortunate's throat as if he'd used a serrated knife. Raggy spits in disgust at the body on the ground. He doesn't even bother to wipe the splashes of blood from his face. That one was completely defective. It'd be shameful to offer it to a respectable buyer. The heavy silence of the hand of the inheritor is almost palpable. It fills the air like the calm before the storm. Then the angel's voice explodes in your head, roaring and furious like a battle horn. He killed him like an animal. Oh heaven, I knew I was descending into the depths of evil, but there must be a limit. There must be a limit to it all. If not today, then someday, I will descend into this den of sin to punish the murderers and save the victims. So the problem here is maybe if I had more money, I'd go and buy the Gladiators. I don't have the money that the one guy's the Black Mask is asking for. So I think we're going to buy this guy, but we do want to look around. Finish looking around. I won't accept any, once again, I won't accept any less. These goods might not be of the best quality, but they're still worth something. Raggy skillfully keeps his face impassive, but you still notice his disappointment and the angry look he throws the haggard Galarians. But now they're going to be in even more trouble if I don't. We'll take that, thank you. There's one more person. Shivaro. Hello. Diunk the slave trader. A grotesquely fat demon speaks to a demoness standing in front of him, his voice irritated yet slightly sycophantic. If you want to get these sweet Aasimar for 10,000 delights, cough up 50,000. Just look at how delicious they are. These girls haven't yet been whipped. Your clients will be clamoring for them. And after they become too worn out, they'll make a magnificent stew. Shivaro. I'll give you 30 if you stop talking rubbish, Diunk. Or keep going, and you can steer clear of my Palace of Delights. You can pleasure yourself on your own, you fat chunk of rotting meat. Do you want to get on Shivaro's bad side? Do you really want that? The Aasimar slaves standing nearby try to avoid looking at the angry demon. Even in their miserable position, they retain the mark of inner purity and nobility inherent to their kind. Puffing himself up, the fat demon answers abruptly and angrily. 50,000 for these delightful, innocent creatures. You shabby and worn-out demonesses can't hope to compete with. That's it, my final offer. Stay away from the 10,000 delights. You can have your own little morsels pleasure you from now on, you greedy, horny piece of shit. The disgustingly fleshy demon greets you with a wave, his arm encased in roll after roll of fat. Allow me to present my living wares, the finest household slaves to serve you and entertain your body and spirit. And they can satiate even the most exquisite cravings. The demon accompanies his last claim with voluptuous lip smacking, looking pleased. I'm looking for slaves that fight in the arena. The demon chuckles quietly, every fold of flesh rippling. He answers his voice low so that his slaves don't hear. Oh no, the rough and tumble of the arena is no good for my little pets. They're intended for a much more elegant slaughter. What were you arguing about? She wanted to buy my beautiful Aasimar concubines for her palace of pleasures. The 10,000 delights. Unfortunately, her common sense and good taste couldn't compete with her greed. She offered me a paltry price, next to nothing, instead of gratefully paying the full sum for these slaves, offering 30,000 for a group of innocent, pure Aasimars shipped here with the utmost care. No one has laid a single finger on them. No one has taken a single bite out of them. It's simply outrageous. Who are you? I am Diunk, the slave trainer. When I was younger and much slimmer, I was a dashing raider. I spent my days abducting concubines from other planes for the harems of the most powerful lords of the abyss. My experience, however, has shown me that raising and training pleasure slaves from an early age is a much more profitable and much less risky business. That's why I now own the largest, most respectable slave farm, where I breed representatives of various races from different planes, though I haven't entirely given up the raiding. His deceptively slow movements and soft folds of flesh fail to hide the powerful muscles beneath. this demon could likely lift a wagon with 2 horses by himself. There is a certain pragmatic elegance in the way these slavers arrange their everyday routines. Every trouble can be solved with the most simple and effective tool, violence, the legalized enforcement of obedience. Show me what you have for sale. Just feast your eyes on them, the most exquisite pleasure slaves raised in comfort and luxury at your service. They are well trained, neat, docile, and stand ready to become ideal servants for your manor. All of them are young and healthy, in a perfect state of ripeness. The demon bursts into snickering, cackling, and then whispers to you confidentially. Of course, we have made sure that their tender flesh meets the expectations of even the most demanding gourmet. They have no inkling of what awaits them, so you need not worry about fear spoiling the meat, making it tough and bitter. My God. Beautiful, athletic, and well-groomed young men and women of different races smile sweetly at you. Their cheerful looks aren't marred by the slightest hint of intelligence. These slaves remind you of happy and well-fed sheep grazing in the pasture. The slaver's eyes widen and he starts to speak, nearly hyperventilating. Just recently, one of my slave hunting crews returned bringing me a most beautiful gift. A group of young, fresh, pure Aasimar girls, full of mouth-watering innocence. All of them are beauties in their prime, caught with the utmost care, unwounded. Shamira will take an interest in them, I wager. Because of her origin, she loves having her fun with Aasimars. There are countless ways one can use such a valuable acquisition. Though, if you ask me, the smartest way is to treat yourself to a medium-rare fillet with rich, meaty gravy. The Aasimar woman looked pale and scared, but even in captivity, they managed to retain their dignity and refuse to let the demons savor their fear. As Diunk continues his nauseating commentary, they raise their chins higher and do their best to maintain cold, detached expressions. Address the pleasure slaves. Don't you get it? You're going to be eaten. Sure, let's mess with them. No. I'll buy the Aasimar slaves. Oh, I see you're a connoisseur. I'd like to warn you that these little birds will cost you a pretty penny. Their price scared off the Madam of the 10,000 Delights. But for Shamira, to whom I intended to sell these fresh Aasimar beauties, 50,000 is spare change. I'm willing to sell them to you for the same price. If we do not intervene, these women will be doomed by the celestial blood that flows in their veins. There is nothing more tantalizing for a demon than befouling, abusing, and destroying any being with ties to the upper planes. We have no right to stand by and leave these unfortunates to terrible fates of torture and death. I don't have that kind of money right now. If you don't buy them, you'll regret it. They would have given you such pleasure. I'm sure Shamira will send for them very soon. I have to go. I'd be absolutely delighted to see you here again. Come back and we'll pick out the most delicate, graceful, and well-trained slaves for you. His tiny eyes hiding in the folds of his flesh intently study your figure. His tongue greedily licks his thick lips, revealing small but numerous sharp teeth. Alright, and I think that's all of the slave traders. So we have 2 options. The Galarian slaves and the Gladiator slaves. I also want to buy those Aasimar because I don't like the fate they're going to have. I don't like the fate the pleasure slaves are going to have either, but the Aasimar seem like they actually are aware that bad things are happening. And I can't save everybody unless I kill everything here, which that is potentially what's going to end up happening. But first we need to get our gladiator slaves. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. We've explored the flesh markets. In the next episode, we'll make our decision on who we're going to buy. And then we'll see where we go from there. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I will catch you later.